Well, the Amaryllis, I have a wrong pronunciation on that. But anyway, that has been going on for the last 18, 20 years, and I've been reporting on it. And
Codex Alimentarius.
Exactly. And what they want to do through that, of course, is take away all the vitamins, minerals, and herbs from the counter, from the dispensers, and they will all, like they are in Europe to some extent, they will all become items by prescription. And it's so that the medical companies and the doctors make more money, but more importantly, all of those things will then only be produced by pharmaceutical companies because they'll have to be pharmaceutical grade, of course, and they will make a lot of money. And that's a tremendous market worldwide presently, and they want to steal it all.
Now, let's expand on that briefly and then go to calls. This gives the SWAT teams, this gives the police something else to be illegal and contraband. I've seen articles where they raid aloe vera fields saying it could get you high, where they're, here's Philly.com. Beer raid flap coming to a head, hearing ordered. Faced with anger, confusion, disbelief from beer drinkers and the beer industry, Pennsylvania lawmakers are pressing for an explanation of a recent state police raids on bars and distributors over allegedly unregistered brands. And it says they paid the tax, it was legal, but there was a 1933 Prohibition-era law saying that they had to pay a fee for each beer they served, but it wasn't enforced since Prohibition, but they never got rid of it. And it doesn't. But the point is, they raided them with armed police in SWAT team raids and seized everything. It's just this passing all of these laws or enforcing laws that aren't constitutional to harass people.
It's terrorism. Terrifying the people. It's not terrorists that we have running around the country that are citizens. It's terrorists that are in Washington and in law enforcement and in other agencies of government. They're the terrorists. And that we got to turn the tables on them. We have to make people understand that they are deliberately being terrorized to be brought into submission so that they will believe that one world government is the only solution.
Well, look, government is growing like a cancer everywhere. People are losing their freedoms everywhere. The same regulations are being put in worldwide by these big corporations. And the countries are going bankrupt, and government's answer is to grow even faster. It's all coming to a head. Let's talk to Phyllis in Pennsylvania. You're on the air with Bob Chapman.
Hi. I have a question. I've been reading on the Internet a little bit, and I found a new word. It's called technocracy. And apparently from technocracy, it looks as though we're going to go into a position where we're going to have actually a dictator, and the dictator and there will be no money. It'll be actually everything will be dictated by science and technology, and so therefore
yes, it's called a scientific dictatorship or a technocracy, where they control all the means of production, all the food, everything is tracked, and then the technocrats say in every report, once they've got this in place, they're going to scientifically play people off against each other, cut back the resources, start new wars to exterminate 80% of us. Bob Chapman.
I think if you go back and look at Foreign Affairs, which is the literary house organ of the Council on Foreign Relations.
Absolutely.
And go back 50 years, and they talk about their technocracy. They talk about all the things that Alex and I talk about, only we looked at and we read that years and years ago, and people are now discovering technocracy as a word, as a way of doing things, as a way of control.
Zbigniew Brzezinski has written multiple books between two ages, how they're going to enslave us, how they're going to dumb us down, how they're going to have one-child policies, how they set up the modern communist Chinese system. They all brag about it, and exactly, they've written hundreds of books. Patriots have read them and said, look, the world leaders say they're going to build this. We warned you and got called conspiracy theorists because the media was counting on you to not go look into what we were saying. All Bob and I were doing was going off what they swore, and they swear to do this to us, Bob.
Absolutely. And the extension of that is all of these things that we're talking about. They all fit in to a mosaic, which to the people who are doing these things ends up being world government. So each one of these things is a cog, and technocracy is one of them. You might call it the overriding idea of what will bring about their world government.
Yeah, it's the control grid.
Allow them to do that.
Absolutely. Phyllis, anything else?
How does this whole thing work with gold and silver? How does that fit into this scheme? And how does this new federal ID system fit into this?
Well, it makes you use that to buy and sell and work, just like there's a no-fly list, there'll be a no-work list, a no-buy list, a no-gun-buy list. This is all being publicly proposed. They admit this is going to control every facet of your life. They want to get rid of silver and gold because that is a black market, i.e. something they don't control. Bob Chapman.
Exactly, and it's been that way for 6,000 years. Gold and silver are something that are considered currencies, things of value. They don't owe anybody anything, and that's what's so important about them. They are a store of value.
They're not attached to a debt. I mean, used to owning private property was like gold or silver, but now they have a property tax, so you don't really owe it. That gold, they don't have a property tax on.
They can't control it, and that's why they're in the markets today, trying to control it, and they are not going to be successful.
Phyllis, the body scanners, the laptops watching your kids, it's all the technocracy scientifically designed. They're on record. The poison they put in your water to sterilize you and brain damage you and give you cancer, on record. Everything they do, the forced inoculations they're trying to push through. It's a technocracy. They are playing God. We'll be right back with Bob Chapman.